Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. As I said, please say in the chat where you're from and say hello. We're going to spend the next 30 minutes looking in depth at how our AI assistant can help save you time and how it can directly improve governance at your school or trust. We're going to try and cut through all the AI noise and look at some practical examples that you can hopefully get going with and try out after the webinar. We've got lovely Leonie on the chat who she will be sharing some useful links with you in the next few minutes about the AI assistant, common questions that you might have about privacy and about the tech behind it. So please do take the time to sort of click on those links and save them somewhere. And if you miss them, don't worry because we've got them in our help centre as well. Right, so we've got an action-packed agenda today. Amazing for 30 minutes. First, we're going to hear from the wonderful Ellie Cheshire, who is our General Manager here at GovernorHub. I'm sure most of you know Ellie very well. Ellie's going to share with you some insights on how you've all been using the AI Assistant so far since its launch earlier this year. Next, we're going to hear from one of you, our lovely customers. We've got the amazing Joanna Thompson, who is the Governance and Compliance Lead at the Red Kite Learning Trust. She's going to speak about how she's been using AI in her own workflows and also about how her governors have been starting to use it to save time. And she's going to show us some specific examples and talk about what she's found useful. And lastly, I have the absolute pleasure of launching our new file picker that enables you to connect your governance documents on GovernorHub to the guidance on GovernorHub knowledge and add that vital context to improve the quality of the responses that you get. Just a quick point, this feature that I'm going to show you at the end isn't live yet, so you're getting a sneak preview. It's actually going live this afternoon, so it will be ready for you to try out later on this afternoon after the webinar. So starter for 10. So a quick Zoom poll. Some questions are going to shortly appear on your screen. You've got about 1 minute just to quickly answer those, and we'll share the results with you in a bit, just about how you are currently using AI in your role. Brilliant. Okay, now we might be able to look at those results in a moment. Polly, do we have the results to show, or am I able to show them on screen?
It's all right, Jane. We can see them on the screen, I think.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of governance professionals in the room. Half of the people in the room are governance professionals, which is really lovely to see. We've got a real mix of chairs and governors and trustees. No head teachers. Well, I suppose that's quite good because they really should be doing their job at the moment, right? But I'm sure they'll watch the recordings afterwards. So that's really good. Let's have a look. Yeah, we've got pretty much a 50-50 split of people using AI to help with their governance. So 54% are saying yes, they are using AI to help with their governance at the moment, and 46% saying no. What AI tools have you used for governance? So we've got ChatGPTs in there at 40%, 65% on Copilot, and 7% on Gemini. So we've got more Microsoft versus Google in the room. I think that's quite common in education, isn't it? I think so. Quarter of the people in the room have used GovernorHub already, so that's great to see. And we've got others in there, 12% are others as well. What else have we got? And we've got half of you have given us ideas of what things you use it for. So we'll have a look at that after the session, and if there's interesting stuff to share, we will share it in our follow-up email for you. So that's great.
Brilliant.
Really interesting.
Very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Lovely. So it's fascinating to see how governors and governance professionals have been using it so far. Right, so actually, Ellie, back to you again. Ellie's going to take us through some insights. I mean, it says 25% of you have been using our AI assistant. So Ellie's going to talk about the story so far and how you've been using it in particular.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so those in the room, we've got loads of you in the room. It's so nice to see all these different people. I can see quite a few people from my local schools too, so big up Buckinghamshire. But AI assistant, now I know for a big room of people, there's going to be a bunch of you that say, oh, AI assistant, that's really exciting. I use AI, that's going to be fun. I'm very interested and I'm going to have a go. There will also be a big bunch of you, certainly as we've seen from the poll, that think, oh, God, they've stuck an AI on everything. I'm fed up of it and I'm not interested. And actually, some of you that will be quite scared about it and really don't understand it and don't really want anything to do with it. For this reason, I kind of wish we didn't even have to say AI before the assistant, because whilst it's really important that we explain the tech behind what we're doing and the tools that we are using, really good to be open and transparent about our tools. AI is important to know. Really, what we've built here is just an assistant for you. That is what we're talking about here. It is just a tool that you all, whether you're governance professionals or new governors or experienced governors or chairs, this tool is something that all of you can use to hopefully make your life just a little bit easier. We know that as governors, you've got the day jobs, you've got family, you've got commitments that you need to do, and all you want to do is a really good job for your board. But it's tough to fit it all in. So we figure, wouldn't it be good if you had someone to help you? And that's what our assistant is. So, like I say, I almost wish we could just get rid of that AI bit and just say, this is your GovernorHub assistant to help you do the job. Jane, can we go on to the next page, please? I'm going to just explain a bit about the tool from what we've learned. This was only launched in, where are we? June, I think it was, last year. So it's only been going 6 months. So just to be clear that this guy is different to this guy. Now, on the left, this is the AI assistant, which is, or your assistant, which is in GovernorHub, the thing that's going to help you do your job. It is up at the top of every screen in GovernorHub. So it doesn't matter where you are and what you're doing in GovernorHub, that button, the AI assistant, will be there to help you. And that's what you click on and do the work of your governance work. Down the bottom, you've got your blue chat. And that's obviously where you go in the chat bubble to talk to us. That's when you come through to Jane and me and Leonie and the guys to ask you questions. We do also have a bot, or whatever you want to call it, a chat bot, an AI assistant in there. That's part of the support tool, the chat bubble. It comes with that support system, and that's in there to help you get easy answers to the questions. And what that is, out of hours, when the team aren't sat around, because believe it or not, although it might feel like it, we're not around 24/7. If it's out of hours and we're all off having our tea, then we put up the chatbot on in that blue chat bubble there to help you answer the questions. We know sometimes he's great at it, sometimes he doesn't, and you can always say, I want to speak to a person, and it will come through to us when we're back. So I just want to separate those two things out for you. Yes, there is AI technology in both, but the one on the right down the chat is just about helping you get to your questions quick and talk to us. The one at the top on the left is about helping you do your job role. And this is the AI assistant that our amazing engineers have built to help you do your job. Hope that's clear. Ask us in the chat bubble down the bottom if it isn't, because then we can tell you. Right, next slide, please, Jane. Okay, like I said, AI assistant, or our assistant, has been launched only since June. And actually, over 9,000 boards are already using it. So that is a lot of boards across the system. And we're really pleased. And the reason that we're really pleased is that we think this is really going to help you do the work of your job better. And we think it's going to help you use AI safer. So under the hood, we use top class tech. So we do use the same tech as your ChatGPTs and your Geminis and what have you. We use OpenAI. So it's the tried and tested engine, if you like, under the hood that is doing this work. But what we do is build on top of that all the guardrails and the safetiness. So you've got all of that within the safety of GovernorHub. And by that, I mean, we don't train. So there's the difference between what the AI assistant can read or use or look at or understand is different to the way it is trained. So the data that you put into our AI assistant, we don't use that to train the bot, to train the AI assistant. Sometimes if you use, for instance, the free ChatGPTs, anything you put in there is being used to train that system. And we don't do that. Governance is confidential. Governance needs to be secure. We don't like really having documents on your own laptops. We don't really like using email chains with things anymore. We want to keep everything secure in GovernorHub for very good reason. So you know that when you're asking the AI assistant questions, what it can do is look at all our articles and all our help desk articles too, and understand those and help you with your answer. What it won't do is take your data and use it elsewhere. The other good thing about our AI assistant is that it's there, it's instant, and it's using all our stuff that it knows. It knows what we know, which is really helpful, and you can do it whenever you want. The AI assistant is there 24/7. So like as I know you are, we're all governors, we're all doing it late at night. We do understand that when you're in a meeting and you suddenly have a question, or you're prepping for that meeting, or you're writing up your minutes, or you're whatever you're doing, that this assistant is always there to help you. And of course, we're all behind it too. Next slide, please, Jane. There you go. Okay, so Jane is going to go through with a demo later on, but I just want to show you the kind of the guardrails, if you like, we've put down to make sure this works really well. So yes, for those of you that haven't used our AI assistant, the beauty of it is you're not searching for your answers. You can just ask it a question. So instead of going to GovernorHub, going over to GovernorHub Knowledge, thinking of a kind of search term that might find the answer to your question, going through all the articles that might have the answer in there, you can just say, what shall I do if, how many will make my meeting Cora? There's a one that's always asked. I am a safeguarding governor. What questions should I ask in my next meeting? Or, all of those things that you can ask. And the machine, will then look through all the articles we have. It will look through all the help articles we have on GovernorHub too, and it will bring you the most useful answer. So it will give you a summary, so you can get your answers really quick and easy. But more importantly, you've always got the detail underneath. So yes, it will summarize your answer, but it will give you the detail underneath. And at the bottom, you can see in my second picture at the bottom here, it will give you the articles it got the answers from. So for those in the room that really love that detail and want to be sure what they're, the information they get and where it's coming from and where it comes from, you've got it all there. And for those that just need to, they've got 2 minutes to leave before the meeting and they just want to check what this acronym means in their agenda, you can do that quick smart too. So yes, you've got your summaries, you've got the understanding, you've got the detail where it comes from, and right at the bottom, you've got a copy button. We know, especially the clerks and governance professionals amongst us, you're like magpies, getting information for here, there, and everywhere to share with your teams and to pass on in training and all that kind of stuff. You've got a copy button. So if you've got an answer to a question that you think, gosh, everybody else needs to know this, you just click that copy button and you can pop to your notice board and share it with your teams in there. So yeah, loads of good uses for this thing here. What we're finding is how people are using this. One really important thing is to say that because we've got the both help articles and advice and guidance articles coming into these answers, you know as well as I do, the work of your governance work is all bound up in, it's not just about the theory, is it? It's about how you use GovernorHub and getting those meetings done. And it's really interesting to see that the answers coming back are often using both our knowledge articles and our help articles. So this is about, what's a declaration of interest? Somebody's asked me to do my decks and I don't know what that means. What this AI assistant will do, it'll tell you that it means your conflicts of interest, why they're important, why you should and when you should declare them, and it will tell you how to do that on GovernorHub. So I really hope for those governance professionals and clerks in there that we're going to help your team save you time and not bring all those questions to you quite so many times. And for those governors in the room, hopefully it will get you the answers when you need it and hopefully make you really even more effective in your meetings. Okay, so that's the kind of lot from me. Just an overall description of the AI assistant for you. Now I'm going to hand over to Joe, who we can talk about our features and what have you till we're blue in the face, can't we? But it's really important for us to make sure that you're kind of talking to each other and you hear from people that are using this on a daily basis. So Joe's just going to talk a little bit about how she uses this tool. So thank you, and over to you, Joe.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Ellie. My name's Jo Thompson and I'm Governance and Compliance Lead for Red Kite Learning Trust. We are a multi-academy trust of 16 schools based in North and West Yorkshire. We offer teacher training through Red Kite Education. We partner with over 50 schools in the area through our alliance. And we also collaborate with schools nationally, delivering learning and development opportunities through our Red Kite Connect programme. So please feel free to get in touch. We love to hear from other MATs. But today I've come to talk about GovernorHub from snowy Harrogate. And as a trust, we started using GovernorHub for our board meetings with members, trustees and local school governors in 2024. As we have 16 schools, multiple boards and committees, the process of managing meeting minutes, documents, governor training, compliance checks, and communications was becoming quite an unwieldy administrative task for myself as governance professional and for our governors and trustees across our schools. So GovernorHub has really been a game changer for us in terms of having everything for our various boards, everything we need in one place. And we've been able to drive consistency, save time for our schools and our children through having streamlined systems and processes at the touch of a button through GovernorHub. And our trustees can now have an holistic view of governance across all of our schools by going to one place, which is GovernorHub. So if that wasn't good enough, the new AI assistant feature, which Ellie has just showcased there, has really been, for me as a governance professional, the icing on the cake. And if any of you joined the CST, Confederation of School Trusts conference last summer, you will have heard the term fluff load used in terms of governance and how those administrative tasks, those questions of, can you tell me when? Would you just be able to look into this for me? They all add up and take away from our ordinary day jobs and eclipse the to-do list. So that's why I found the AI tool really, really helpful. And the other piece is obviously the DFE Academy Governance Guide tells us that as governance professionals, one of our key roles is to provide independent expert advice. And I now find I can do that at a touch of a button if I just want to check something or send a quick email with some really solid, reliable guidance from the AI assistant in GovernorHub. So how can AI assistant support us? Well, here are some examples as to how I found the assistant really helpful. The first one is questions about policies and statutory information. There's a wealth out there, isn't there? There's the DFE guide, which seems to change on a regular basis. Keeping up to date with any of those changes can be quite challenging. So an example question that you can test out within the AI tool is, how often do MATs need to republish their school admissions arrangements? So I've got a pretty good idea, but has the code changed since 2021? Let's just find out. So putting that question into AI Assistant, I can see that there's still an annual publication requirement. I need to publish all of the policies for each of our 16 schools by the 28th of February on our websites. Consultation and review needs to happen at least every 7 years. And then for those of us who are more visual, I've also got a table with all of the dates in, and I can easily lift that into an email to share with a colleague. So it really does save a lot of time. Slightly more technical question. What is the relevant legislation for producing a modern slavery statement for MATs? A question I was asked just the other day. So I was happy to spin around and say, well, it's the Modern Slavery Act 2015. If our turnover is over 36 million, then we must produce a modern slavery statement. And then it gives some guidance as to what that modern slavery statement should include. So it is quite helpful for when you're challenged with, but I did it last year, I don't need to do it again. Actually, you do. And I've got the legislative link there within GovernorHub to tell me where I need to find out further information about that. Then general quickfire questions. Can the CEO of a MAT also be a trustee of the board? So this one gives me a good indication that yes, it's possible, but the members must decide that. The CEO must agree to it, and the Trust's Articles of Association must permit this. So then I know, okay, that's where I need to look. I can go into the Articles of Association and find the definitive answer. And maybe the tool that Jane's going to show us after that could help even further with that aspect of the investigation. A question for chairs of governors, perhaps coming from governors or governors themselves, would be declarations of interest. So a question may be, what interests are relevant for trustees or governors to declare? And that word relevant causes some ambiguity. And it's often a question auditors like to look at as well in terms of your published declaration of interest register on your website. So at the touch of a button, with the AI assistant, I can drop that question in and I get a list 1 to 6 of everything that needs to be declared, some further information, and then I can even ask the AI assistant, and I've done this, to produce a little document for me that I can share with my local boards and trustees so that I can remind everybody at the next meeting what they need to declare. and where to do it in GovernorHub. So to sum up, you might be asking, well, why is that different to any other AI tool? For me, I find the layout of the response is good enough to form the basis of an email reply or to respond to somebody directly at your desk with that question, or as I say, to prepare a guide. It provides clear headings in the responses from the AI assistant so that you can home in on specific guidance. It links to the GovernorHub articles and legislation for further information. And it also tells you how GovernorHub as a system can support the process. So, for example, there is an area in GovernorHub where you can declare the interests, and then as a governance professional, I can, at the touch of a button, get that register ready. I can ask AI Assistant to produce a guide on any logo. Most importantly, I know that the information is reliable, relevant, accurate, and up to date. So it really does save time with your fluff load. It doesn't train on your own data, as Ellie has already explained to us. And the only thing that it's collecting is MI on those questions. So all in all, I would recommend the tool. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Jo. That is fantastic. It's great to hear how much the AI assistant has helped you sort of cut through that fluff. And it's wonderful to hear. It's always great to hear from our customers because, you know, the thing about GovernorHub is we do always shape it around what you need and what you want. So thank you so much for coming along and sharing that with us. Now I'm delighted to introduce the new file picker. And as Ellie and as Jo alluded to, we do have a new feature that's coming out this afternoon. Drum roll, please. We've looked at how the AI assistant can get answers about how to use GovernorHub and reliably support you by giving you answers that are backed up by our high quality and researched content. But now you can add in that vital context with the file picker. Because you can pick files from your GovernorHub document section to add them to the prompt or the question. Now, anyone who's had any training or knowledge of AI prompting will know that the more context that you can give, the better the response that you will get. So, and as Ellie said, this is not a document upload. Many AI tools do that. This picks the files that are already stored securely on GovernorHub to add that context. The files are not shared or used to train AI, so you're using it safely within the context of GovernorHub. It's also very important to note that this doesn't replace engaging your brain and doing your job as a governor. This is to reduce admin time. And as Jo mentioned, get through that fluff, get information quickly so you can get to the actual business of governance. Right, I'm going to show you a couple of examples now. So I'm just going to come out of this and move over to what I will say is it's a feature branch at the minute. But it's going to be live later. So as you can see, the AI assistant is here. And we've now got this choose file option. So first example, one of the things governors are often asked to do is to review policies. New policies come up and governors have to review them. And very often they've got to read the old policy, read the new policy and sort of approve the changes. Now, what you can do, a good prompt here would be, can you tell me what has changed between these two policies? You can then use the choose file to go into your GovernorHub document section. You can select each of, let's just say it's the code of conduct. You can select the code of conduct. You can then select the updated one, so the 2026 one, and it will add it there. And what you can then do is ask it to tell you what's changed because governors need to approve the changes. So the AI assistant will read both documents. It'll read the first document and then it'll read the second document. And what it will do is it will come up with the changes between these two policies. So it starts by identifying what's different. So the new code of conduct has an additional section about the use of mobile phones in school. And it'll tell you why this is important. So why it's important that governors note this change. And it will also, I think, and as Jo alluded to this as well, is it'll give you a summary table of all the changes between the two policies and then give you some actions that you need to do as governors. So very useful for comparing documents in this way. Second scenario, very often governors have to read a lot of information at governors' meetings, one of which is always the head teacher's report to governors. And often governors need to challenge, they need to come up with questions to challenge the report. So what you can do is you could say, right, I'm just going to go into my folder on GovernorHub, and I've got the head teacher's report to governors there. I'm going to add that. And actually, it's really important when I'm doing this that I keep the school improvement plan in mind as well. So I'm actually going to choose that. And you can actually choose up to 5 documents to add to the file picker. We have capped it at 5, and I'll talk about that in a moment as to why. So you can then find your school improvement plan. There it is. And you can ask that in the prompts, you can say, can you give me some questions to challenge the head teacher's report and reference the school improvement plan. It's actually quite forgiving with spelling as well, which is probably a good thing. Or typos. So I've added those 2 documents. So again, what it will do is it will read the head teacher's report, it will read the school improvement plan. You've not uploaded it, you haven't added it, all you've done is point it to what's already securely stored on GovernorHub, and it will say, right, okay, here are some questions and here are some links to your school improvement plan as well. So it will divide it up as well into sections. So linking the progress data to the school improvement plan that you've been presented with, monitoring and evaluating impact. So these are the school improvement priorities, and this is the cross-reference with the head teacher report. Questions about safeguarding and well-being that again relate to that school improvement plan. And staff well-being, and it'll go through like that, and it will pick out key questions. And again, this is not replacing the job of a governor. This is doing that cross-referencing that you would have done anyway, and just putting it in front of you so you can get on with picking out what's important for you to pick out there. Now, it has another feature. I showed you there, like from within the AI assistant, how you can sort of generate these questions. But actually, if you are about to look at your papers for a governing board meeting, and you go into your documents section and you go into your full governing board folder and you notice, okay, the school improvement partner's been to visit, great. Oh, his reports are usually like really, really long. So I just want to get my head around this quickly. So with the 3-dot menu here that has always existed within GovernorHub, you now have another option which goes straight to the AI assistant. So you can say, right, I want to sort of ask something about this school improvement partner report. Can you summarise this report for me and identify key priorities for the governor meeting? And it will do that. It will read the school improvement partner report and it will create you that executive summary. It will summarise the content so that you've got the key points before the meeting so that you can go in armed with the context, the different areas, the quality of education, what strengths have been identified, what areas for development. And again, it'll give you a performance overview there as well. So again, from within GovernorHub, you can use it to sort of work smarter and be able to summarise, be able to compare and be able to sort of ask questions, adding that vital context from your documents section. Right, so just going back here. I hope you're as excited by that as we are. We've been playing with it a lot over the last few weeks. All that's left to say really is just thank you so much for coming along. We're really, really grateful for you to spend the time. A big thank you to Jo for coming along and sharing her insights as well. We do have a few little tasks for you to do today. Please, 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 could you complete our feedback form, which is in the chat now. Polly's putting it in the chat. We would like to run more sessions like this if you find them useful. Secondly, please do check back this afternoon once that feature is live and try it out. Please try it out today. We're very keen to get early feedback on how you're using it and how you find it useful. Please do send that feedback over to support@governorhub.com and we'll be glad to hear it. And all that's left for me to say, and it's 1 minute past 1:30, haven't we done well on the time, team? I want to say happy weekend, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend. Thank you.